So today's Lag BaOmer, unless you live in Eretz Yisrael, and I certainly hope you're going to be more than careful there. If you live in the United States or elsewhere in the world, other than Australia, New Zealand, and those kind of far-off places, there are no yeshiva barbecues today. There are no park relay races for the kinderlach to go and play in. There's very, very little celebration, and there's certainly no bonfires by which we could celebrate this wonderful day of Lag BaOmer. So where does that leave us? Let me share with you a brief thought on this forthcoming Sedra of Behar Bechukosai. And from that, I believe we could gain a tremendous amount to be joyous over, even during these days of self-imposed incarceration. The Psukim in Bechukosai tell us in the brachos that are referenced prior to the Tovacha, V'nosati gishmeichem be'itam v'nosna ha'aretz yivula v'etza sada yitain peryo. Kadosh Baruch Hu tells us that if we hearken to his mitzvos and the study, the proper immersion in the study of Torah, we'll be blessed with everything, with rain in its proper times, and with the greatest of bounties. And there will be trees that will not even be fruit trees that will ultimately yield fruit. And we'll find ourselves in the middle of threshing our grain when we'll already have to harvest the crop from the vintage, from the wine. And we'll find ourselves harvesting the wine crop when it's already time to begin anew the planting of our grain. V'achaltem lachmechem lasova, says the pasuk, and you will eat bread with satiation. V'shavtem levetach ba'artzachem, and you will be able to live within your homeland with a sense of security. And Rashi, obviously, citing Chazal, was bothered by the fact that if we're going to be blessed with this endless bounty and plentiful harvest that runs into the next planting of food, then why need we be told that we'll be able to eat our food with a feeling of satisfaction? Obviously, we'll have so much, we want to be able to eat it all. We'll be more than satisfied. Says Rashi, V'achatam lachmachem lasova, ochel kima v'hu mizbarech b'meyov. That even when we'll have this abundance of plenty, we will eat a little bit, and our stomachs will be sated, and we'll feel the blessing of food. Why? We have so much to eat, we don't have to eat a little. And I thought to myself that the simplest explanation, and I think the truest explanation is because until and unless we find ourselves and within ourselves the opportunity and ability to eat a smaller amount and yet feel ourselves so blessed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then no matter how much we'll receive from him and no matter what largesse he will ever place in front of us, we'll never, ever be satisfied. And interestingly, I found within the Divrei Shaul, citing an Akron, that Chazal felt that Hasuma ein lo sova, that a person who is blind can never really be satiated in so far as what he's eating. I know sometimes my wife will say to me, honey, you're not even looking at the food that you're putting in your mouth. And that reason, not why I eat that way, but the reason that we can't really be sated when we're not looking at the food is because Chazal well understood that when we look at something and we see what's in front of us, our eyes receive a certain amount of satisfaction. And that actually impacts upon our stomach. And therefore, a sumo who can never see the beauty of what's placed in front of him or the amount that's placed in front of him can never really be satisfied. And that's why, says the Divrei Shaul, we have in fact in our tefillos, Sabeinu mituvecha v'samcheinu b'shuasecha. Sabeinu mituvecha means HaKadosh Baruch Hu, open the eyes that we can see through and let us see just how much you've blessed us with. Because so many times in life, we're so blind and we never even take notice of all that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us. And if we're blind to it, well, then we can never be sated by it, let alone be grateful for the brachas that we've been given. And I thought to myself that it's so true that we can't daven in our shuls, in our shtiblach, in our kollel, and we don't have the minyanim. We can't even get together with our children and our einiklach and our grandchildren. We can't play with them even on a Lag BaOmer. We can't lift them up. We can't hug them. We can't kiss them. And we have to daven b'yechidus every time we daven. And it's so depressing at times, and it's so distressing at times, and it's so frustrating, and it's so debilitating. But the truth is, if we say to ourselves, we can't go out, and we have to so greatly distance ourselves. But Baruch Hashem, we're well, and we have homes in which we're safe, and we have food on our plates. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is watching over us in our solitude. If we feel those brachos, that we can take our time davening, we're not rushed to catch up to the Shliach Tzibor, or if we're davening for the Yomad. If we realize and see the brachos that we have, and see the shmira, the safeguarding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu affords us on a daily basis, then no doubt when we'll go out and we'll be released from our solidarity, and we'll be released from our lockdowns, oh, how we'll appreciate. Oh, how we will sufficiently and appropriately benefit from the presence of others and the love and joy of being in the presence of others, and the ability to be in our shuls, and ability to be in our workplaces, and the ability to move freely and mix freely without hazard, without fear of the presence of others. Sab'enu mituvecha, our eyes will be open to all that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has granted us. V'samchenu b'shuasecha, and we'll be able to be so gratefully happy in the Yeshua that will be granted by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ochel kima v'u'mispareh b'meyav, the ability indeed to eat a small amount and to be so ever grateful. That's a joy that we can yet feel on this Lag BaOmer, even when we're in lockdown. Have a wonderful day.